Do you remember the letter sound of these 5 vowels? How about the letter sound of the 21 consonants? If your answer is yes, then congratulations, you should be confident to move ahead. Otherwise, I suggest doing a little bit of revision in lesson 1 before going on. It's a continuation of VC blending of simple 2-letter word with a vowel followed by a consonant. We would like now to add on one more consonant before the vowel to come up to a 3-letter word. So by using the win concept, as we did in part 1, we can start right away with CVC blending. And with more practice in the next few slides, I'm sure you can read the word fluently. And spelling of a simple word won't be a difficult task. So in part 1, we are going to focus on the vowel sound only to avoid any confusion with the other 4 vowels e, o, a. So let's do some warm-up exercise to have a good start. By using the win concept, we will blend the first word as bats. If we say faster, bats. In regular speed, simply bats. The second word, pad. If we say faster, pad. And in regular speed, simply pad. The third word, tap. If we say faster, tap. In regular speed, simply we say tap. The last one, van. And if we say faster, van. In regular speed, simply van. And keep in mind that this super technique is good for starters who have no foundation in English at all. No foundation, such as learners who have only a few words in mind or the basic 26 alphabets. And this is definitely a great help in practicing the reading and spelling. For the coming up slides, we will read the words in regular speed as well as focusing on vocabularies. If you come across the words having more than 1 syllable, just relax and focus on the CVC blending only, and we will touch on the ones that you are not familiar with in the next few levels. So let's try to read the 3-letter words in the first cylinder in regular speed. Add, bad, bag, ban, bats. And please ignore the ones in highlights. We'll talk about that later. The word baggage starts off with the first syllable of 3-letter word bag. The word ban simply means not allowed or prohibited by law. In the picture shown, using or talking on mobile phone is banned or not allowed in that area or occasion, and normally one must switch off or change the mobile to mute. The word Batman starts off with the first syllable of a 3-letter word bats. Let's try the ones in the second cylinder. Add, cab, cad, cam, can, cap, cats. The word cab is commonly used in North America, which is the same as taxi. The full name for CAD is Computer Assisted Design, and you may have heard of the software, the AutoCAD, which are used and widely used by graphic designers. Which word will come up in your mind immediately when we mention the word cam? Of course, camera. Nowadays, we don't need any cameras at all, but most of the mobiles are built in with camera. And the resolutions are even higher than the old camera models. In cars, we have view cam recording the activities and traffic conditions while driving. Now you can even download the view cam apps on the mobiles, so you don't need another device. Third cylinder, add, dad, them, then. The word dad as in daddy, the use of them as shown in picture is to prevent flooding and collect the water for the reservoir in supplying water. The word dan as in dance or dancer. Names such as Daniel or Danny and lovely flowers such as dandelion. Okay, let's read the word in the first cylinder for this slide. Add, fed, fan, fats, facts. So what is the meaning of fad? There's a trend every season, every year, or every decade. The popularity of toys, products, food, etc. is the fad within the time range mentioned. For example, Pokemon is a fad during the 1990s. The character has been on the downtrend and now is a fad again. The Rubik's Cube is very popular in the 1980s. Though it is not a fad anymore, but there are still competitions going on every year as there are associations in charge of the contest. The fad also brings about further development with more complications of Rubik's Cube. This shows how fad can affect the product life cycle. Second cylinder, add, gag, gap, guess. When a kidnapper uses a pieces of cloth, maybe adding chemicals such as chloroform to cover the victim's mouth to prevent him or her from speaking, or for the purpose of causing the victim to become unconscious, and we call this act gagging the victim. We cannot stop but gag and cough when we have a sore throat. Nowadays, the word gag is commonly used as a joke, silly, or funny stories told by someone and normally seen in a comedy show. Second one, when we talk about gap, the most common one that we can think of is the serious generation gap. In families, parents and children cannot understand and give way to each other as they have different and contradicting opinions in many fields. Hence, arguments always come up. Worst scenario is the generation gaps tend to happen in 10 years age difference. Now, maybe even worse in 3 years age difference. This is probably because the world changes too fast and people are more selfish and self-centered compared to the past. No sharing, no caring, no consideration of others, and money-oriented in order to reach a target. What about gas? I can think of two broad types. One, when you ignite your gas stove to cook. The other happens to everyone and can be annoying, especially smelly ones. When one farts, gas will release from the bum-bum. Third cylinder. Add, had, ham, hap, has, hats. Guess when we would normally use a gammon ham and it normally sits beside the big roast turkey with cranberry sauce. Oh, yummy. The festival is close to the end of a calendar year. It is the Christmas day when there is family gathering to enjoy the feast. Wow, that's really yummy. What can you think of with the word hap? It is a face that everyone is looking for. Now that the whole world is in chaos, arguments, fighting, and wars going on. And we really want a supporting and happy smile to lead us all to a more positive attitude, don't we? We really need a happy face. Let's read the first word in the first column. Jam. We love spreading jam on bread at breakfast, don't we? What is your flavor? Kids normally love strawberry and adults go for mango, which of course can't be explained. I don't even know why. I'm not a jam lover, but I love making homemade jams to my family and friends. Again, ignore the words in the highlights. Let's read the first word in the second column. Cast. And the word should be Kashmir because the first syllable is having sh sound instead of s. And we will talk about sh, sh, in the third level. Kashmir, as shown in the map, is a region between India and Pakistan, close to Nepal and China. Okay, let's read the word in the third column. Add, lab, lad, lag, lamb, lap. Experiments and testing are normally done in labs, isn't it? In schools, chemistry lessons are normally taken in labs. There are many well-known testing centers such as SGS, Intertech, TUV, etc. And they have laboratories around the world to carry out testings of medical items, toys, food, etc. Look at the picture and it is not difficult to understand the meaning of a lad. It is a boy or young man, and we call it lad. If you fly from one country to another with a big time difference, especially daytime of one place is actually the equivalent of nighttime of the other, then it is highly likely that you will have jet lag. Jet lag. If you haven't done your homework and absent from school, then it is possible that your study will be behind and the lag will affect your progress. Definitely. Simply add P to lamp and it becomes the bright light beside your bed, your table, lamp, lamp. When we were kids, we loved sitting on mommy or daddy's lap and we felt so comfortable, which is a way parents show the love and caring of their kids. In the picture, the child is sitting on Santa Claus' lap, and I guess every kid has the same dream of visiting Santa Claus. Laps are commonly used when we are talking about running tracks or swimming pool. How many laps have they run? How many laps have they gone so far? So as shown in the picture, it shows one lap in a standard swimming pool. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many laps do you normally swim every time? Let's read the first cylinder. Add, mag, mad, mag, man, map, mats, max. Again, snip the highlights. What can we think of when we mention mac? Oh, it is macaroni. The Kraft mac and cheese are the favorite of many kids. Oh, it is so cheesy. You would love it if you love cheese. When we think of Apple computer, we think of Macintosh. It is Apple Macintosh, and the first launch presented by Steve Jobs in 1984. What is your facial expression when you are mad? It is similar to the one in the picture. Mad means angry. The popular word which starts off with mag is magic, magic. And everyone hopes there is magic so the dreams can come true. A worldwide exercise that goes on in the dream gym classes every day is yoga. It really pushes up the sales of yoga mats. Yoga mats. This type of mat should sell better than other types of mat because of high demand in industry as well as for home use. Talking about range and restriction, we always refer to minimum and maximum, whereby minimum refers to the lowest and maximum refers to the highest. So when driving on highways or school zone, there are road signs showing the maximum speed that is allowed, which must be followed, max. Second column, add, nag, nap. When we go shopping in a market where prices can be negotiated, we often see some customers nagging, but not buying a lot, while other customers keep waiting. So these people are actually really annoying and irritating. No one likes them. When kids want to buy toys but their parents won't buy them, we often see kids nagging till their parents buy them or simply cry, which is also a way of nagging. When we are tired and it is not bedtime yet, we will simply take a nap. A nap. A nap can last from a short 5 minutes to few hours and can be anywhere on a chair, desk, or on a bus ride. Sometimes when there's a traffic jam, which takes you about 2 to 3 hours, it is a good time to take a nap on the bus. Let me just read through this. Take a nap on mommy's lap. Mommy's lap is all wet. Why is it like that? Water is in the nap. When the mouth is trapped, saliva on the lap. We can practice reading this and see if you can make a difference between lap and nap, as well as trapped. So just click the description below to find out this. Third column, add, pad, pal, pam, pen, pass, pat. So female should be familiar with the items in the picture. It is a daily necessity during menstrual cycle or period. Another type of pad is usually used, but both females and males have chances to use, and that is writing pad. So now you have an idea of how broad the word pad can be used. Oh yes, and the famous iPad, do you have one? Hey pal, what's up? This is a casual way to say hi to your friend without calling his name. In the picture, Charlie Brown and Snoopy are pals. When we go to health centers, we will see some leaflets giving advice. When we go to travel agency, we will find some brochures. And we call these leaflets or brochures pamphlets. Pam. What do we need when we want to fly an egg? A pen. But we don't say a pen. Say that with your mouth big and wide, not a smiling mouth, because it is impossible to use a writing pen to fry an egg. Occasionally, I have the same dream. I forgot one important document and didn't figure out till I got through the customs, and that is my passport. There was only 1 hour left and I had to rush back home. Oh, too bad I couldn't find my passport. I was crying in the dream. When I wake up, oh thank God it is only a dream. So in real life, I always keep in mind to have my passport with me when going abroad. When you pat on someone's back, you are showing appreciation or support. Sometimes the boss will say good job or well done while patting on the staff's back. A pat on the back. Let's start reading the CVC words, starting with the ru sound. Red, rag, ram, ran, rap, rats. And they all have the main sound air. Drivers usually install radar detector in their cars so they can slow down and reduce the speed to the maximum allowed, as the devices can detect if there are police monitoring nearby. This can help preventing from getting a speeding ticket. In the old days, people were more environmental friendly. They used old, torn, or leftover cloths or clothes in small pieces and sewed them together into a blanket, and we call these pieces rags. Guess all computer users like you and me should be familiar with the term RAM. The full name is Random Access Memory, a type of computer memory that can be accessed randomly, and it can be found in servers, tablets, smartphones, or printers. In the picture, the horse ran fast in the snowfield. Ran is simply the past tense of run. What can you relate to when we talk about rap and rapper? Artists who love hip-hop and the musical performance is to follow the beats in poetic form by rapping. One thing I don't really understand is why rats are always associated with cheese only. Try reading CVC words with the first sound s, sack, sad, sam, sen, sep, sets, and they all have the main sound eh. Sack, as in sack. It simply means a big bag normally made with strong fabric or material for carrying goods. A sack of rice, a sack of potatoes, a sack of flour, etc. Sack can be used as a collective noun for countable and uncountable stuff. How do you feel when you are sad? Is it like a facial expression in the picture? By the way, the angry one is in red, but the sad one is not. Sandals with the first syllable san, and remember it is not the same as slippers. For casual wear, we can put on sandals but not for a formal occasion. When we go swimming, we wear beach sandals because people can see your toes and it is not a sign of respect. The dress code for some careers such as teachers and professionals are not allowed to wear sandals. Sap, as in the precious gem sapphire, which is normally in blue, but they are in other colors too. Some sapphires are rarely seen and can cost a fortune, a lot of money. The word sat is simply the past tense of seats. In the picture, the baby has already sat in the high chair and is happily playing the blocks. Now try the last column. Tab, tag, tad, tag, tam, ten, tap, and tax. And they all have the main sound eh. The first thing we can think of is tablets, as it is the device that many of us are using. The first syllable is tab. Notebooks are too heavy to carry around, so people use tablets as they are smaller and lighter. The old-fashioned game that we used to play when we were kids is tic-tac-toe. Oh, by the way, this word shows the blending of 3 different CVC words in 3 different main vowel sounds. So what do we call when a little baby frog just hatched from the egg with only a tiny tail, a little tail, and not grown up yet? It is called tadpoles, tadpoles, tad, for both frog and toe, and the first syllable is tad. When we organize our files, we put tags on edges to file them according to categories. This will help us search for the information whenever we need in a more convenient way. Are you familiar with this musical instrument? Oh, it has been invented for centuries. Most of us will just say, oh, this is a type of drum. Well, let me tell you, the proper name should be tambourine, tambourine. During wars, we can see soldiers in tanks firing the enemies. And on the top floor of every building, I should say, it is installed with water tanks. Water tanks. Water supply goes through here before going to all households of the building. Hence, the water tanks in each building must be cleaned periodically to make sure that it is good to use. Besides that, each household must make sure that they are using a water tap that works well and is not rusty, as it will also affect the water quality, isn't it? It is a headache for every company and individual when the fiscal year ends, especially for companies, because they must audit their financial records and file income tax. Income tax. What's next then? We must pay our taxes. Oh my goodness, I've spent all my money and not able to pay tax. What should I do? Okay, try the one starting with v, vag, when, ben. When we need not just a small break, but a long time of relaxation. Our mind is thinking of going on holiday and a good place for vacation. And the first syllable in vacation is vag. Every day, we see lots of trucks and vans on the roads delivering goods from one place to another. Trucks are bigger, while vans are smaller. Ignore the highlights, just say wag, wax, and both have the main sound eh. In the picture, you can see the lovely dog wagging his tail, wag. Maybe he's looking for food. What will happen after you light up the candle for a while? Well, of course, it will start melting. What is melting? The wax that is used for making candle, wax. Ladies love waxing their hands in the beauty salon so their hands will be smoother, wax. Do you love yams? Which type of yams are you talking about? Yellow ones? Purple ones? White ones? Well, sweet potatoes are yams, and the wild yams, white inside, are normally grown in Japan and China, and they are useful in prevention of cancer and lowering cholesterol. Not many CVC words start with z, zack, and sap. What is zigzag? Zigzag. Take a look on the picture to find out the tracing of the zigzag pattern. In cartoon, the word sap comes up normally in fighting scenes. So cruel. The sap means to destroy someone or something with weapons or devices. Okay. So finally, you can read through all the CVC words as a revision if you like, but read it faster this time. From bad all the way to gag and all the way to the last one, zap, sap. The ones shown in highlights don't carry the sound, the initial sound of a as in apple. So we will go in depth in level 2, lesson 1, part 1 on coming Wednesday. If you don't really understand or you forgot how to pronounce this, just simply go back to the previous slides again. So it will be better. Okay, so just to remind you again, we will go through these special what we call vowel diagrams in level 2, lesson 1, part 1. Thanks for watching. Please comment on my video, and if you like it, please subscribe. The next vowel, a, with a smiling face, as in elephant, will be on YouTube next Sunday, level 1, lesson 2, part 2.